What's crackin', Party House boys and girls, and welcome to a very special edition of the Party House News Report, brought to you by Big Boss Jarod Simpson and Cameraman Leandro Aristeguieta. Now today, in Party House News, we have Rich's top 5 favorite cheeses and some quotes. But first, let's talk politics and news. The U.S. and North Korea are discussing exchanging liaison officers ahead of Trump's scheduled summit in Vietnam at the end of the month. A recent New York Times investigation has uncovered evidence of obstruction from current President of the United States, Donald Trump. One example includes Trump's attempt to put an ally of his in charge of an investigation into alleged payments of hush money by Trump's personal lawyer. The Supreme Court has ruled to limit excessive fines used by state and local governments. This ruling comes after a man, Tyson Timbs, had his $42,000 Land Rover seized from him after being arrested for selling a couple $100 worth of heroin. An active-duty Coast Guard member was arrested last week on charges of illegally possessing guns and drugs. This man has allegedly been amassing weapons and supplies since 2017 to launch a mass extermination of a list of people, including Nancy Pelosi and other politicians and journalists. A self-proclaimed white nationalist, journals and emails found in his property exposed massive plots to commit serious acts of domestic terrorism. President Trump has announced plans to create a 12-member committee dedicated to deciding whether or not global warming is a national security threat. This committee includes William Happer, a physicist from Princeton that believes that CO2 is actually beneficial to humans. That's kind of wild. Venezuela closed its borders to 3 Caribbean islands and Brazil in an effort to block aid shipments organized by Juan Guaido and the opposition party. During a protest at the Brazilian border, 2 people were killed and 14 others injured by the Venezuelan National Guard. North Carolina will hold another election after it was reported that the Republican candidate that won, Mark Harris, financed an illegal voter turnout effort. The 9th District will go unrepresented until the new vote is calculated. Pretending to give free medical checkups, the Chinese government collected DNA samples and other personal information from tens of millions of Chinese citizens, allegedly with the help of an American company. Virgin Galactic, the company that will soon offer civilian flights to space, sent their first passenger to the edge of the Earth's atmosphere this morning. Beth Moses, the chief astronaut instructor, flew with 2 pilots on a test ride this morning. Going back a little bit, the House of Horrors parents who were charged with counts of child abuse, among other charges, have both pleaded guilty. They were charged after their 13 children were found chained and extremely malnourished, dating back to at least 2010. This is a part of a plea agreement, and the parents could face sentences of 25 to life. Australia has announced a plan to plant 1 billion trees by 2050 to help in the fight against climate change. That's a lot of trees. Bernie Sanders officially announces that he will be running for president in 2020. The progressive senator was a very popular face in the 2016 election and has gained even more popularity since then. A new report from congressional Democrats say that several of Trump's appointees encouraged the sale of nuclear power plants to Saudi Arabia, despite security concerns voiced by senior officials. This is a big one, I personally think. And finally, 16 states have filed lawsuits against the Trump administration and their decision to declare a national emergency on the southern border. They cite protection of their people as just one of the reasons behind the lawsuit. And now, on to entertainment and fashion. Karl Lagerfeld, designer for Chanel, passed away at the age of 95. The German designer started working for Chanel in 1983 and soon became a household name in the fashion industry. Lady Gaga and her fiancé Christian Carino officially announced an end to their engagement yesterday. A statement released by Lady Gaga's rep confirmed that relationships sometimes end. I guess she's right. I guess that's true. Another strange chapter in the Jussie Smollett book today. The Empire actor officially turned himself in yesterday morning after felony charges were pressed against him. It is alleged that the actor paid 2 men to attack him because he was unhappy with his salary on Empire. R. Kelly is officially being charged with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. His trial is set to begin on March 8th. Blueface, the famous rapper, Crow's favorite rapper, could face up to 3 years in prison due to being charged with unlawful possession of a loaded firearm. His next court date is set for February 27th. So maybe Crow Reinhold will be caught with a loaded firearm as well, since he loves Blueface so much. I guess we'll have to wait and see. New music was released yesterday. This is exciting. Lil Pump dropped Harvard Dropout. Offset dropped Father of Four. I've listened to some of Offset's. It's actually pretty good. The song with Gucci, whoo! Gunna released Drip or Drown 2. The Higher Brothers released 5 stars, which Logan said was pretty good so far. And Night Lavelle released Good Night Lavelle, which I've heard mixed reviews about, but I guess we'll have to see. This is a funny one. Chris Hemsworth has signed on to play Hulk Hogan in a biopic about the wrestler's life. The biopic will be directed by Todd Phillips, director of The Hangover and the upcoming film Joker. LeBron James has confirmed the Space Jam 2 will begin filming this summer. I guess if it's as good as Space Jam 1, then LeBron really is the GOAT, right? Ariana Grande recently became the first artist since the Beatles to hold the top 3 spots on the Billboard Top 100. 7 Rings is number 1, followed by Break Up With Your Boyfriend on Board and Thank You Next. Ariana Grande is also the only solo artist ever to achieve this goal. Reggie Fils-Aimé has announced that he will retire as president of Nintendo of America after 15 years at Nintendo. Doug Bowser will take over as president. I know this one makes Parker and Jack extremely sad, so my thoughts go out to you guys. And now, on to sports. Big Boss Nick, you better be listening. Manny Machado agreed to a 10-year, $300 million deal with the San Diego Padres. Machado is one of the biggest names in the free agency market this year, with a long list of teams vying for his affection. This is the biggest free agent contract in American sports history. This is huge news. Patriots owner and billionaire Robert Kraft has been charged with soliciting prostitution. He, along with 24 other men, are being charged after visits to the Orchids of Asia day spa, which has been surveilled by police for months. Team LeBron defeated Team Giannis on Sunday to win the 2019 NBA All-Star Game. MVP of the game was Kevin Durant with 31 points. Giannis also had an incredible showing, scoring 38 points on 17 for 23 shooting. LeBron has now tied Kobe Bryant with 15 All-Star Game starts. Syracuse basketball head coach Jim Boeheim struck and killed a man on the interstate on Wednesday night. Sources say that he swerved to miss the man's car, which had been in an accident, and hit the man on the side of the road. He was released by police and has not been charged, but he sat out the game today. Or yesterday. Can't remember when the game was. Michael Beasley has signed with Guangdong Southern Tigers in the Chinese Basketball Association, to nobody's surprise. Antonio Brown and Steelers owner Art Rooney had a meeting on Tuesday, and both agreed that it's time for Antonio Brown to move on from the Steelers. The Steelers have also stated that they won't trade Brown to rivals without serious compensation. The Pittsburgh Steelers have also announced that they will not use the franchise tag on Le'Veon Bell. For anyone who hasn't heard, the Steelers placed the franchise tag on Bell for 2 seasons straight, resulting in Bell sitting out the entirety of last season. Bell is now an unrestricted free agent and is not expected to remain with Pittsburgh. The Penguins have signed forward Joe Cramarosa to a 2-way deal. 76ers center Joel Embiid will miss at least 1 week with left knee soreness. It is believed that Embiid's participation in the All-Star game on Sunday may have further injured his knee. Josh Harrison, one of my favorite players on the Pirates, probably of all time, has agreed to a 1-year, $2 million deal with the Detroit Tigers. He will serve as the Tigers' second baseman. Good luck to Josh Harrison. I'll be watching your games. The Minnesota Wild traded forward Charlie Coyle to the Boston Bruins for forward Ryan Donato and a 5th-round pick on Wednesday. Duke star Zion Williamson exited Wednesday's 88-72 loss to North Carolina during the opening possession of the game with a mild knee sprain. The injury came after Zion burst out of his shoe and he slipped awkwardly to the ground. Something else is that after this, Nike stocks dropped by $1.1 billion because of the incident. Zion was wearing Nikes. I don't know. I mean, it's wild. It's wild. Yesterday, the NBA officially proposed to lower the required age to join the draft to 18. Adam Silver seems to be on board with the proposal, previously stating that the draft age of 19 is not working for the NBA or college basketball. D-Generation X is the first official inductee in the 2019 WWE Hall of Fame class. The group, consisting of Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and the late great Chyna, played a pivotal role in the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude Era. Shawn Michaels is now a 2-time inductee. D-Generation X is probably the reason I got into professional wrestling. I think the greatest stable of all time. And now on to the big, and most important segment of our show, the Party House News. First up, Rich and Leah recently looked at a new apartment. A direct quote from Rich states, "It's super nice. I really hope we can get it. It has 2 bedrooms, a living room with bay windows, and a balcony. I'm happy for you guys. I hope that you get it. And when you get it, I would love to stop by and see it. Maybe hang out. That would be cool. Congrats, guys." A quote from Parker about quitting the Deer Park Winery. "It was a wild ride. Glad I did it. Sad I quit it. Moving forward to the future, though. Bigger and better things. I feel for you, Parker, and I hope that everything goes well in your future. You're doing great things, and you will continue to do great things. Bigger things, better things. You're right." Adrian Weber, our Party House boy, he's currently setting up a website to sell prints of his pictures. So if you like any of Adrian's pictures, and I know you do, please go buy some when he sets the website up. Our cameraman, one of our favorite Party House boys, Leon, wrote an article in the paper about the Little Shop of Horrors show that will be playing tonight. Me, Leon, Adrian, and Prince are going to go see. It's going to be great. He interviewed the director of the show. It was a great interview, great article overall. And also, in news about Leon, his album is 50% done. Hopefully it's better than Crow's. We'll see. Who knows? And now we have the big one. Richard Cumpson's top 4 favorite cheeses in order. This is the first list we've had in order, so this is a big deal. Number 1, he has provolone. It's a reliable cheese. If I don't know what cheese to go with, I go with provolone. Number 2, he has American. Not a big fan of American, but I understand lots of people like American. Number 3, cheddar. Also not a huge fan of cheddar, but it's a good cheese, And number 4, pepper jack. That's probably my favorite cheese, but Rich, I would say this is a solid list. Good job, Maybe you should make a sandwich with all 4 cheeses. That would be kind of cool. And that's going to do it for the Party House News segment and the Party House News Report. I'm sorry it came so late. I was at a concert, and then I was tired. I had to play some 2K. I had some busy days going on. But I'm glad that you guys are tuning in and listening. Signing off, this is Big Boss Senpai Buff, Jarod Simpson, behind the desk here. We finally have a desk. And we got the man himself, Leon Aristeguieta, behind the camera. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you.